Hi, my name is Arminda Garza. I am reporting today for Populist Brief News. This is the first episode of our video news program that we'll begin doing regularly. Like I said, my name is Arminda Garza. I am a Justice of the Peace candidate, and I am also the youngest female candidate in the state of Texas. So let's get to the news, shall we? Here's this week's top news stories. As the FBI works to destroy President Donald Trump, they are not working to keep us safe. At least if a couple of our recent stories are any indication. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has been under heavy scrutiny after they ignored credible tips regarding Nikolas Cruz, the mass murderer who gunned down 17 of his former classmates in cold blood. The FBI has been tipped off about an internet post from Cruz where he boasted about his intentions to be a school shooter, but did nothing. According to court documents, the FBI likely ignored similar signs when the terrorist attack at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando occurred. The Pulse nightclub attack left 48 dead and 58 wounded, and Omar Mateen was very much on the FBI's radar. Before committing any act of terror, according to reports done by journalist and radio host Tammy Bruce from the Washington Times, Mateen's own mosque contacted the FBI to alert them about his threatening behavior. We would also like to include his father was an informant for the Bureau for over a decade. Making matters even worse, the Orlando Centennial reported the following back in 2017, and this is, and I quote, according to the suit, Mateen told the deputy sheriff that he would have the terror group Al-Qaeda kill the co-worker's family, bragged to a co-worker about being associated with the Boston Marathon bombers, told colleagues that he had family connections to terror group Al-Qaeda, and that he hoped law enforcement would raid his home so he could martyr himself. The suit says Mateen also praised Nigel Hazen, the Army major who shot 45 people at Fort Hood. Mateen was interviewed twice by the FBI, but they released him both times. So why did they refuse to do their job and keep us safe? FBI Special Agent Juvenal Martin was responsible for handling Omar's father, Sadique, while he worked as an informant. The same agent was then assigned to investigate complaints regarding Omar, Sadique's son. Martin did nothing to stop Omar, in spite of his erratic behavior, and even considering developing him as an informant. Apparently, the FBI was so concerned with finding high-profile terrorists that they let a violent threat slip by, and 48 people met their needless deaths due to federal incompetence. Speaking of violence, did you know that Nikolas Cruz is something of a Lothario with the ladies? Well, he wasn't before he committed the Parkland, Florida massacre. But after committing that heinous act, women are throwing themselves at the tormented jailbird. The South Florida Sun Centennial obtained some of the many letters of reverence from young women who want to get in contact with the killer. I'm 18 years old. I'm a senior in high school. When I saw your picture on television, something attracted me to you, one woman wrote, offering her 34C size breast to Cruz, who, she said, had beautiful eyes. Another 18-year-old girl wrote, no one else is dealing with your demons, meaning maybe defeating them could be the beginning of your meaning, friend. I know you could use a good friend right now. Hang in there and keep your head up. Broward County Public Defender Howard Finkelstein was mortified by this and said he never saw anything like this throughout his years of public service. There's piles of letter, he said. In my 40 years as a public defender, I've never seen this many letters to a defendant. Everyone now and then gets a few, but nothing like this. These letters shake me up because they are written by regular, everyday teenage girls from across the nation, he said. That scares me. It's perverted. Is this the kind of thing that happens in a virtuous moral country? I think not. Now, changing the subject, in other clown news, the social justice warrior are at it again and have found the latest source of anguish racist beer. They are offended by a marketing campaign from Heineken in which the Dutch-based beverage company used the tagline, sometimes lighter is better. It was originally brought to the attention of the Twitterverse after Chance, the rapper, posted about it on Twitter. He said, and I quote, and that shit racist bogus, so I guess I shouldn't help by posting about it, but I gotta say though, the sometimes lighter is better Heineken commercial is terribly racist. OMG. Quote. Very articulate words from Chance. Unfortunately, this campaign was successful as Heineken almost immediately capitulated to the demands of social justice warrior under pressure. For decades, Heineken has developed driver's marketing that shows they're more that unites us than divides us, company spokesperson Bjorn Traore said. While we feel the ad is referencing our Heineken light beer, we missed the mark. Are taking the feedback to heart and will use this to influence future campaigns, he said. Once again, institutional stupidity reigns supreme as another multinational corporation bows to irrational whims of the social justice warriors of the left. In our next story, we see that censorship from social justice warriors backfiring in Cloudflare, the hosting service that threw a neo-Nazi website off the internet last year. I woke up this morning in a bad mood and decided to kick them off the internet, Cloudflare CEO Matthew Prince said last year. Prince is now suffering the consequences for his decisions, as his company is being sued by adult entertainment providers who demand that other sites engaging in copyright infringement be removed from his services in a similar fashion to Daily Stormer. Cloudflare's previous policy was never to remove any website unless they had received a court order to do so. Lawful websites are now demanding that Cloudflare stop hosting websites engaging in blatant piracy using the Daily Stormer's removal as a precedent of sorts. In response, Cloudflare is asking for this information to be removed from the ongoing liability case filed by porn producer ALS Scan. Cloudflare respectfully asked this court to exclude any evidence or arguments that ALS intends to offer relating to Cloudflare services, including termination or non-termination of services to hate groups. The company writes according to a report from Torrent Freak. This includes, but is not limited to, services that Cloudflare historically provided to the Daily Stormer website, and Cloudflare's decisions to terminate services to the websites following the tragic events that took place in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017 of August. Cloudflare seems to have its work cut out for them in civil court, where they just may find that their push for censorship has backfired against them. Now, we are going to move to a couple of hopeful stories. The first is about our President Donald Trump, who has been dodged by polls that many of his supporters believe are fake news. But now, those same fake news show polls that President Trump is on the rebound. According to a recent CNN poll, Trump is near a level of popularity that Reagan and Obama had during the same points of presidencies. A CNN poll conducted by SSRS shows that Trump's approval rating is at 42%. This is up 7 points since February, making gains amongst Republicans and independents. Trump is only 4 points behind Obama and Reagan from this point of their presidencies, showing signs that the turmoil in his administration and negative press coverage has not yet sunk him. Another recent poll conducted by Public Policy Polling has shown that other Russian collusion scandal is not having an impact on the mindset of voters. In spite of a wall-to-wall media coverage of the investigation for over a year, the findings of FBI investigation conducted by Robert Mueller are largely irrelevant in the minds of voters. Alex Panetta of the Canadian Press pointed out that Trump's polling numbers would not change even if Mueller found conclusive proof that Trump's campaign team worked with the Russians to attain the presidency for him. This suggestion is that the propaganda bliss on the mainstream media is only working on those who already harbor disdain towards Trump. While it is certainly not going to be easy for Republicans to maintain their majorities in November, these recent polls should give us his support, some hope and enthusiasm to hit the streets hard to ensure that Trump's train continues to roll along. Our final story is a surprising one. The push to legalize industrial hemp has a powerful and unexpected ally in the Senate. The chamber's most influential legislator, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican from Kentucky, a longtime senator, is planning to introduce legislation to fully legalize industrial hemp, as well as provide other benefits to hemp growers. We are all so optimistic hemp can, at some point, become what burley was in Kentucky's past, McConnell said during a press conference earlier in the week. Hemp has played a foundational role in Kentucky's agricultural heritage, and I believe that it can be an important part of our future, McConnell said. McConnell has taken a page from fresh-faced national legislations elected from his state. Liberty-minded Senator Rand Paul and Representative Thomas Massie have been pushing industrial hemp as a jobs bill for many years. And McConnell now sees the potential in developing this program, which is likely to receive subsidies as well. Marijuana reformer Tom Angel said McConnell's office emails to say the bill will not only change hemp's status under the law, but will also set aside federal grant money from hemp farmers. We'll continue covering the hemp legislation as well as other stories as they continue to develop. Check us out on pbnews.com for regular updates on every weekday, as well as video coverage that will be expanded in the weeks to come. Check us out on social media at Populist Brief on Facebook, YouTube, Gab, and Steemit. Hope you enjoyed watching. This is Arminda Garza signing off for episode 1 of PB News.